Hi, I thought rather than just show the video in the shorter form, I would share the longer video and just say a little about the process of drawing the portrait for those of you who are learning to work in this way. I'm actually using charcoal willow sticks when I'm drawing this, and I've brought a box that has 3 different sizes in it. So you've got thin, medium, and then the thicker one. Here I'm actually using the medium stick, which, as you can see, you know, it's a bit wider as it's drawing. Now, one thing you've got to be very careful of is what paper you're actually using. So the paper I'm actually using here, for those in the UK, it's just a Crawford and Black sketch pad from the Works. It's only cost a couple of quid, which is good news to anyone who has seen the prices of art pads in other shops. This works absolutely fine. If not, you could try a little bit of lining paper, like what you use instead of wallpaper. Because what you need something that has got a little bit of tooth in it to hold on to the charcoal, because if not, it just won't stay there. You know, it's a lot of hard work, which doesn't need to happen. As you can see here, I've started with the eyes, and I'm laying it on quite thick as well, because I know that I'm going to be manipulating the charcoal in a little while. Always amazes me when I watch my own videos. Now there you saw me just lift the picture up because there was dust on the picture and I didn't want it to ruin the drawing, so I literally just blew it away. Ideally, you should really always draw a portrait or any kind of drawing actually. When you're using charcoal or soft pastels, it should never have it flat in front of you. As you can see, I've got my piece of paper on a clipboard here, and I've got it at an angle because it's very fine dust, and if you're asthmatic or you've got a bit of a cough or something, you're going to start inhaling that and you're going to start coughing and everything, which is not good news when you're trying to draw. So I just blew that away from me, but also as well, the whole time you're drawing, it can get a bit tricky, but you can't lean your hand on the paper if there's been charcoal there already, because if you do, it's just going to take the charcoal off again. So you do have to be takes a bit of practice. I can remember when I first started, it was hard work, and I'd get a little bit exactly how I wanted it, and then, oh no, I lent on it. Which is why quite often when I'm drawing, especially in public, quite often I will actually wear black, because it gets on your fingers, and that way I can quickly just wipe my hands on my clothes. Bad, aren't I? And that will get the charcoal off my fingers very quickly, rather than have black fingerprints all over my picture. So a little bit of a tip there for you. It's heartbreaking, it really is, when you've got that eye or that ear exactly how you want it, or that nose, and your hand leans on it. Soul destroying sometimes. Right, okay, so again, this is all using the medium size willow stick. Now what you'll see here is I'm coming in to start doing shading already. So I'm coming in pretty thick here and on the sides, because I know that I want to make the picture a bit more 3D. It'll be a little bit darker on the left as you're looking at the picture, because the reflection is more towards the right than the left, the light. Now you'll see that I start off again. I'm using the medium sized charcoal, as I said, and I'm starting to build up the hair, and you'll see in a minute that I realise this isn't the best tool for the job. So you'll see me change over to, there I go, I change over to get the thick piece of charcoal, for many reasons actually, because charcoal breaks very easily, especially in the medium and the thin, where you can give it a little bit more welly when you're using the thicker charcoal. So I can really like push quite hard on here. Just doing lots of little loopy circles as I'm doing this. It looks pretty horrendous at this stage, but you've just got to trust and go with it. It's not going to ruin your picture. You should have a putty rubber near you as well. I usually have it in my other hand while I'm drawing, because then the heat of my hand will actually keep it soft, which means it'll be a bit stickier. Now there you've seen me, I've just picked up a cosmetic cotton wool bud. The difference with a cosmetic one than an ordinary one is that one end is a bit flat, so you know, it's for women when they want to put their eyeshadow on or something. Because it's a little bit flat, it makes it absolutely ideal for blending. Yeah, I've blown the dust away again. As you can see, I'm picking it up and from the edges, and I'm trying to get it to go in the centre a little bit more. And some of these really hard lines that I put in, I'm going in, and again, it's almost like I'm painting really with the cotton wool pad, because every single time I touch something, a bit of charcoal, it sticks to the bud, which means then I can transfer it from the bud into other places. Now if you see the nose there, I was actually coming downwards from the nose, and there I'm going to come down from there. It's all to help give it that little bit more of a 3D look. The eyes are set in, back from the nose, so that, that's going to be a bit darker there, especially if the light isn't getting in there. Now the fun bit, going in, and again I'm just doing little circles onto the hair, onto the charcoal there, trying to make it look a little bit more realistic, but also as well, it'll also help it stick to the paper a little bit more. I can spend hours sitting going backwards and forwards on here. This portrait has actually taken me 19 minutes from the beginning to the end. As you can see, I'm just using it on A4 paper. See how I'm using the cotton wool pad bud there to bring some shadow in under the hair, which again will help to make a little bit more 3D. And now I've blown the dust away again. So now I've gone back to the medium charcoal stick here. And I'll just draw in some of them lines. Now what you could do, you could actually spray it, but I don't. I'd rather spray it at the end. So quite often I'll go back over lines that I've already done. Just putting some of them defining lines back in again, which again helps to make it look a bit more 3D. Look how that eye just like became like a real eye just by putting that little bit of black above the iris there. And then what I'm going to do now, put some more shading in there. I pressed quite hard there because I do want some of them lines to stay there. And I want to make the ears a bit darker, so again I've gone on there and look, oh my god, look, that looks awful, doesn't it, by me doing that. But I'm doing that so that I can actually use my cotton wool bud again to help bring in the shading. I'm sure at the end when you've seen it, I think you'll agree with me that it does make it look a lot more 3D once I've manipulated that again with the cotton wool bud. I tend to look to see where else I want to put it before I get that cotton pad out again. Just darken up the eyebrows there. Now what am I going to do here? Now you see I'm lifting, moving, swirling from the edge. Try not to go over the edge. Just, can you see how that's making that a little bit more 3D? Can you see that? And that harsh black line is gone. And then bringing down under the nose, but also as well, I've already picked up a bit more charcoal on the cotton wool bud from using it on the rest of the paper. And see, just softening them lines, just giving it a little bit of rub, not pressing too hard here. See, just again, just trying to get that to not be so harsh. And you know, you need a bit of shading underneath that lip, that bottom lip, rather than a harsh line, which a lot of people who are learning to draw portrait say, now this is an interesting bit. Now I'm using the pointy end of the cotton wool pad, and I'm bringing in again, just like I did on the side of the face, I'm doing it with the eye. I'm actually going around the edges and swirling it and pushing it in to colour the iris a little bit more there. Here I'm trying to make it a little bit more realistic, the eyebrows, so I'm just pulling it up a little bit. Just trying to make it a little bit more realistic. Sometimes I'll turn the pad upside down when I'm drawing, because I can't always achieve it on the left hand side what I can on the right hand side with my hand. Never worry about having to do that. Then I'm just softening again. Just giving it a few more lines there. And as you can see now, I'm bringing in the darker shade at the bottom of the face, because it usually will be a little bit darker down the bottom. And what am I doing now? I'm just going to put some more colour in on the eye, because I feel that this person would have had darker eyes. It fascinates me when I watch my own portraits. There you go. To see here, you can see, look, I'm bringing it up at the top. In a minute you'll see me move the pad, because I realise, you know, it's just not going to happen me doing it that way around. To try and get it the same, I need to turn it around and do it. I do actually draw portraits upside down as well, which you can find some videos on my channel where you can see me do that. I'm very careful, and I wanted to actually underline the nose again there, but I realised if I did that, my hand would probably lean on the hair and it would be game over, which would have been a shame at this point. Just going over some of them lines again. Just gently, just gently. I want it too hard at this point. Don't want them looking like they've got panda eyes. Here now I'm just going in again. Just bringing that charcoal from the edges and moving it into the middle a bit more. Just defining the eyes a bit more by putting a little bit of shadow above the crease line. Just giving that a little bit of a blend as well. There you go. Now we're going to go for the lip. You'll notice here that I don't really touch the bottom lip. I'm just the top lip there, because the top lip is usually darker than the bottom one. Not in all cases, obviously, but in a lot of cases. Look how by bringing that down there, how 3D it makes it look, which is brilliant. So now I'm holding a thin piece of charcoal, which gets shorter and shorter as I'm working because they break very easily. So a warning for you there. Sometimes I'll break it on purpose to start off with, so I'm using half the size, so it can cause less damage. Just gently going over a couple more of them lines. Again, this is still using the thin charcoal. Just going to blend that in a little bit there. Try and make it look a little bit more realistic. And because I've done that, you haven't got a clear, definite line for the mouth, so then I shall go in there again with the thin charcoal and just redraw that line there. And again, the shadow under the lip there. And because I've been doing the eye blending in from the sides, it meant that the pupil wasn't dark enough. So now I'm using a medium stick again of charcoal, and I'm going in and I'm putting quite a bit of pressure on there actually, because I want it to be very, very dark. And now you'll see me go put my hand behind the thing. Look, there you go, I've got my putty rubber in my hand, and I'm going to go in and just lift a little bit of that charcoal off, so we can see the reflection in the eye a little bit better. There you go. One portrait drawn using charcoal willow sticks. I hope some of you have a little go. Maybe try and follow what I've done here. Hasn't got to be exactly the same face, but the same principles. And this is how I learn a lot of what I do. So thank you for watching. I hope you found this interesting.